Hey guys, welcome to Turn Heal. Welcome to the place where we turn heal our way to self-love and unity consciousness. I hope all is well. Luck here. This is going to be a reading for the week. So it's just an energy reading. Let's see what we need to know, what we don't need to know. All right, let's go. I come to you, humbly God, thanking you for your divine guidance, providing messages of divine light, divine love in accordance with your divine will. What is it that we need to know? What's the overall message? Thank you. We're going to make this short and sweet up in here. All right. Face your shadow. Now, it's funny that I said what we need to know, what we don't need to know. Okay. There's probably some things that we need to know, we don't want to know up in this bitch. And this might come about. Now, when I talked about the full moon and Scorpio reading and download that I had afterwards, it was talking about facing our own undesirable traits and just really just taking that on. And some of us are going to get that exposure to our shadow through another person. And some of us are just going to have these revelations like, oh man, I really am an asshole for A, B, and C. Or, you know what I mean? Whatever the case is, whatever your thing is. Or, oh, I make excuses that stop myself from growing, you know, or whatever, all right? Your shadow. All right. I want to make those examples because it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, we all have a shadow. It doesn't mean that it's bad things, right? It's just parts of you that are hidden, but still playing a role. It's still a part of your scripting in your personality. It's still running a program in your life, right? So, all right. But this is the overall theme for this full moon in Scorpio, so. What else? Get to it. Ask with sincerity. Accept what is dying. All right. What I'm feeling here, certain things that you're asking for is not coming in because you don't want it bad enough. That's what I'm getting, all right? So you might be asking for something and you're like, oh, why is it taking so long? Ask harder. And the thing is, for some of you guys, before that can come in, if you're asking for love, for example, there's certain things that you have to let go of in order for the new thing to come in. Now, because you don't see the love coming in, for example, you don't see your manifestation coming in by way of a person coming in specifically, your manifestation can still be showing by having this inspiration to clear things out. Like this is like the pre-manifestation action that needs to happen before the actual manifestation needs to come in. So there's a need to recognize those inklings that come about if you're asking for something and you're starting to see new thoughts come about or new urges come about. Follow those because those are your pre-manifestation actions that can lead to your manifestation, okay? And some of that is, you know, releasing certain things, okay? All right, cool. That shadow. Some things in the shadow. All right. I feel like what's being revealed to us are the parts of us that are stopping us from getting the things that we want, all right? How we're betting against ourselves unintentionally or subconsciously. Okay, let's get into the actual reading. Okay, hold on. All right now. Six of Swords coming out with the High Priestess here, all right? Intuitively, you know there's something you need to walk away from. You know that there's something that's dying off. And it's like kind of hard to do it. Okay, excuse the noise that's about to pass by because I'm outside, all right? There's something that you know you need to move away from. This can be a relationship. It can be a thought process, okay? It could be a job. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. But just keep that in mind. There's something that is dying off and you know that it is, or it could be transitioning into something else, all right? Maybe it's time to get out of the position that you're in and apply for another position within the same job. Or maybe it's time to leave the job altogether and go to another company. Either way, it's something that you need to walk away from. And you feel this inkling. The pre-manifestation action is coming about. It's time to honor that. All right. All right. What's this? The Empress. This is taking ownership. All right. This is taking ownership, accountability of your next chapter. Being a boss, okay? The gift that comes out of facing your shadow, the gift that comes out of facing how we're limiting ourselves with our belief systems, with our actions, with our relationships, with whatever. The gift that comes out of that is the accountability. And with the accountability, now we have responsibility to empower. We're empowered to actually change, okay? It's best to look at it as such. Pretty much, it's not easy facing yourself, right? But it's best to look at it like, well, now that I know this, now I have the power to change it, as opposed to, ooh, I know this about myself, ugh, right? And shying away from it and burying it. No, take accountability. Now you know better, do better, okay? This is holding yourself accountable and taking ownership and no longer letting that script run. Just because if this shadow comes up, or when this shadow comes up, if you decide that you don't want to face that fact, well, it's still going to run a program in your life. It's still going to play a role in your life. And it might play out in weirder ways now because you're stifling it. It's best to take control of it, okay? Put a leash on that thing, all right? These cards are coming out 2 and 3 at a time. Cool. 4 at a time. All right. All right. So with this facing of the shadow, there might be a chance that you would feel some regret about it, about how you might have, when you realize your limitations and how you've created limitations in your own life, it will cause a little bit of regret about the choices that you've made, okay? And that's fine. But that's back to what I was saying. There's a certain perspective to have about it. You can look at it like, oh man, and wallow in self-pity. Or you can say, okay, well now I know better. I was young and dumb, all right? Time to step it up. The end, okay? So it does come with this level of disappointment in oneself. Just don't wallow in that for too long. It's okay. Move on, yes. All right, so, okay, so now you know better. You might feel that regret with the 5 of Cups. But then you learn to do better by, with the 7 of Swords energy, you learn to put that aside. It's coming out in reverse, so you're kind of dropping that. It does come out with, this is a level of reflection coming through, where you're like kind of reflecting over all the decisions that you made, and that's fine, but then you drop it. And with the Chariot card, you kind of move on. You have that 3 of Swords, that disappointment within oneself, and then you move on, Chariot card. And then you're empowered, Queen of Wands. Now you're like, I know what I need to create for myself, okay? I know what I need to create for myself moving forward. I know how not to limit myself any longer. That's amazing, all right? So just keep that in mind when that comes about. Don't beat yourself up. Be like, All right, that was it. I did that. Okay, I take ownership of that. All right, and moving forward, I'm going to take ownership of my actions if I'm faced with that situation again. You know, things like that. Learning from your mistakes. That's the name of the game here. And letting that die off too, okay? All right. Yeah, then it's going to become clearer. Okay. Some of you guys, because there's a lot of, you might get some intuitive downloads, like specific actions or specific mindsets that blocked you from getting a certain thing. For example, let's say if, I'm going to keep it in the love sector. Let's say if someone's limited belief system about love caused them to push love away, and now they realize, oh, I was doing this, I was creating this narrative that love doesn't exist, for example, right? I was creating that narrative, right? And then it's just having that realization of like, oh, I did that, and that's why I didn't have it. I was in this self-fulfilling prophecy, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy for myself. So this is what's coming about. This Three of Wands coming out in reverse, because upright is about finding the results, getting your manifestation. All right. So it's like you don't get the manifestation and you're like, oh, see, it doesn't work. The manifestations don't happen. I can't get it. Love doesn't exist. See? And then you have this aha moment like, oh, it's not coming in because I'm not believing in it. Oh, it's not coming in because my belief system is a bit skewed. Oh, so that's a dying belief system that I need to get out of here. All right. I need to replace that with something more conducive to my manifestation. You know, so accept what's dying off and then move on. Move forward. Be empowered. Be empowered and start manifesting from that new empowered place, from that new place with this fresh new belief system. Okay. Oh, yeah. Double card coming out. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Why is that double card coming out? Oh, that Five of Cups coming out again. Okay, listen. This double card is coming out because when you have this realization, the biggest takeaway from this situation for this week, you're going to find out some deep truths about yourself. And you might be tempted to wallow in self-pity and give up. Give up on yourself. Give up on your path of healing or growth. Do not. That is the devil energy coming in. Don't allow it to make you, I mean, if you feel sad, you feel disappointed, you know, I can't tell you how not to feel, but don't dwell in that, all right? That regret, resentment, whatever, turn that around into action. That's the biggest takeaway from this this energy right now. There's a temptation to say, once you have a realization of, if you have a realization of how screwed up you are, it's like, oh man, well, I mean, why would I have to grow now? Right? It's like, no, that's not the mentality. That's not the attitude to have. It's like, okay, well, now I know that, let me move forward. But I feel like this energy is tempting. This energy is very tempting to keep you like, well, you know, you're already fucked up, so you might as well keep fucking up, right? Don't do that. That's the temptation this week, all right? Override that. You have two choices. Wallow in that self-pity and continue the cycle, or turn it into action. Turn it into wisdom. Be empowered to create something different. Replace those dying belief systems with something new. And setting that clear intention. I would suggest journaling about it when this comes about. Hey, these are my shitty traits. It is what it is, okay? What would I want these traits to be moving forward? When do these traits show up? In what type of situations? How can I show up differently in these situations? Those are journal prompts. I should write that down. All right. It leads to, on the other side of this, if you make whatever choice you make, right? You can make that choice to wallow in self-pity and continue that cycle and just be like, this is just who I am. Or you can move on and elevate. This is what's on the other side, that elevation, right? The World card coming out with the Queen of Pentacles. This is you rising up a notch. You becoming a 3.0 version of yourself after this, okay? Another elevation for yourself. All right? All right. Yeah, that's about it. Overall, we're going to learn some truths, laugh it off, replace it with a conscious intention, replace it with something else, and move on. Shit, we all human. We all making mistakes out here. It's all good. Keep it moving. All right? All right. Well, this was a pleasure. Until we meet again. Peace.